Hello, everybody. Hope everyone is doing okay this afternoon. I am going to be working on Age of Night, Chapter 23, page 10. I've been working on this for the last couple of live streams. Don't worry, this is not the only thing I've been working on this whole time. I've been working on other stuff. But at this point, it's all penciled, it's all lettered. I've got the background inking done all the way through the whole page. So now I am going to be working on inking the figures and the spot blacks. So today I'm going to be using my brush and ink. I use the Windsor Newton Series. There we go. Now you can read it. The Windsor Newton Series 7 sable brush, size 4. They make it's a really great brush, so it goes down to a really fine point, even though it's kind of fat. Since it's kind of fat, that means I can fill in all these big dark spaces without it taking the rest of my life. So, load up my brush with some ink. I've got a little piece of scrap paper just out of frame to hone my point on. And I will get started and try to keep it in frame. I gotta scoot my chair over so that I don't keep drifting out of frame. I'll try not to hit the camera with my head, which I'm bad at. You may also be able to hear in the background my new coworkers. I've got some little chirpy chicks hanging out in my studio. We actually got them a little while ago. They're 5 little bantam chicks. I actually got half a dozen, but one of them did not make it through the first night, which is actually pretty common when you get a bunch of chicks. Usually 1 or 2 of them don't make it. But they had been next door at my mother-in-law's house. But she had to go back to work at the hospital, and chicks need to be taken care of pretty frequently throughout the day. They need new food and I'm out of frame. They need new food and water pretty frequently throughout the day, so they needed to be somewhere where we could get at them. Since working at the hospital, she works like a 12-hour shift, so she would not be able to check on them in the middle of the day. So they got moved into my studio. We couldn't keep them in our house because our cat would eat them, because he's kind of a jerk like that. He's a sweet cat, but he has very intense predatory instincts, which is great because he catches lots of mice, but would be bad for trying to keep anything that he might consider prey in the house. So I now have little chirpy chicks living in my studio. Most of the time it's actually pretty nice and sweet. Like, their little chirps are actually pretty calming. But then every once in a while they get all excited, and one of them will be like, "I'm the loudest and you all have to listen to me." Just be like standing on top of their little brooder being like, "Chirp, chirp, chirp," as loud as he possibly can. It's just like, why? Why are you doing this? Oh, there's a comment. Hello. Oh, I'm so glad you were able to make it. Glad you're able to join me. All right, I'm going to try to finish getting these lines so that I can finish filling in this big black space. So yeah, I don't know if the microphone is even picking up their soft little chirps, but if you hear some chirping in the background, that's what it is. Or if one of them decides to do the loudest chirp ever, you'll probably hear it. All right, that'll fill in this section. That way I don't have to worry about, I'll get that all filled in so I don't have to worry about dragging my hand through anything down here once I get more of that done. Let me spin this. Which way do I want to go? Oh, this is the way I want to go. See, I look at the, I'm really bad at figuring out the mirroring business on the camera. Sound like a squeaky chair. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they are pretty cute. And they do sound a little squeaky. They're still in the adorable fluff ball stage right now. Although bantams don't get too bad. They're usually pretty cute even when they're adults. Like we raise laying hens. Right now we have all Easter eggers, so their eggs are all like light green colored, which is kind of cute. And they're pretty good layers. We also have guinea hens for pest control, because if you let them free range, their preferred food is ticks, which is like, can't get any better than that. But in general, they really help keep the bugs down around the house. We've had lots of different types of laying hens. Like we've had Rhode Island Reds and we've had Barred Rocks. And Barred Rocks are probably my favorite, but because their temperament is really good, as well as being really reliable layers. They don't tend to be nasty, which some chickens get nasty attitudes. And Barred Rocks tend to be pretty chill. But we also live in the woods, so periodically our flock gets completely destroyed by an incursion of predators, and we have to start over. So right now they're not allowed to free range because because the foxes are I don't know if they've had their kits yet or if they're just getting ready to, but a fox came and nabbed one of the guinea hens recently. So we're like, yep, you guys are on lockdown for a little bit. You're not allowed out. Everybody's quarantined, even the chickens. Poor chickens. I see there are some comments. I will go look at those momentarily. I'm just going to get her face while I'm in here. Just scoot this over so you can see it better. There we go. It's kind of like to do Constance's face because of all the really complex scarring on the one side of her face. It's like you just have to be in the zone and you just kind of have to go. There we go. get that shadow inside her hood. There we go. All right, now I will look at comments. Oh, there's a bunch of them, actually. Yeah. I don't appreciate nasty attitude chickens. So, we had when I was growing up, my family raised chickens as well. And we had a Rhode Island red rooster who was, and roosters have the worst attitude in general. We've had to allow several of them to disappear because they can be so nasty and dangerous. So we had one really mean Rhode Island red rooster that one time my dad went into the coop to collect eggs and it flew at his face to attack him. And my dad threw his hands up in front of his face to stop this rooster from like clawing his face all up, because roosters have like the big nasty spurs on their legs that can actually, they're like these big hard spurs that can actually cut you wide open. They're really sharp. So he threw his hands in front of his face to keep the rooster from clawing his face up. And the rooster was flying at him hard enough that it dislocated his middle finger. It's just like, the worst. The worst. I'm surprised that chicken survived that day, but for some reason it did. And yes, I have also had guinea pigs, and they're extremely loud. These cute little chicks are nowhere near as loud as a guinea pig. That is for sure. Sweet. These long sort of parallel arcs. There we go. Losing my point there. Let me hone that back down. There we go. Get these little details in here. And fill in this space. There we go. Okay. I see there are more comments. What do we see? Mean chickens turn into chicken nuggets. Man, if only roosters were worth eating. That's why the French have an entire recipe just for stewing the crap out of a rooster in like a gallon of wine to make it edible. No, mean chickens become fox food. Mean chickens somehow don't make it in the coop at night, and then they disappear. So at least, somebody gets to eat them. Somebody who will appreciate their taste, I guess. Because I certainly don't want to eat rooster. Boiling it in like a gallon of wine might make it palatable. Okay, so this is the point at which hopefully maybe this panel will do the thing that it's supposed to do, and it'll look the way that I've been planning on it looking. We'll see if I pull this off. The idea here is that she's supposed to be like backing into this doorway and kind of melting into this dark doorway. But we'll see if that effect is pulled off with the way I've done this. I know it doesn't make any sense in pencils, but hopefully in the inks it'll read a little better. Let's see if this works. It's still not looking like much yet. Fill in this whole area with black. It's a nice heavily shadowed doorway. Still have like way too much ink in my brush, so I'll come up here. All right, that should be better. Well, I think it's starting to look like I want it to. It's starting to get there. It's starting to do the thing that I want it to do. I can at least see how it might work. Starting to do the thing I want. There we go. All right. I'm liking how this is turning out. I was a little bit nervous, but it's turning out the way I wanted it to, so good. I think the thing I was going with the whole explaining all the different types of chickens that we have is that I never got to the end of that explanation. Is that we keep Easter eggers or whatever other laying hen variety for their eggs. We keep guineas for pest control. And occasionally we buy a batch of bantam chicks, literally just because they're cute. They are 100% pets. Every once in a great while, one of them will lay an itty bitty little egg, which is perfectly edible, but they don't do it regularly and they're not very big. So yeah, we primarily just keep the bantams around because they're cute and they're usually pretty sweet tempered too. And it's fun for the kids to watch the chicks grow up, and the bantams are just pets. I mean, they eat some bugs too, but they're not super pest control. They're not pest control superstars the way that guinea hens are. They're primarily just around to be adorable. And I'm curious to see what we got because it was basically just an assortment, and you can get all sorts of really pretty different types of bantams. We think that at least one of these chicks might be a silky, so it's one of the ones that's like super fluffy. That'll be fun. Right now they're all just different colored fuzz balls, so it's hard to tell. I suppose somebody who was way more well versed in raising chickens than I am would be able to tell. I'm not super well versed in like all the different fancy breeds and everything. With this panel, all I had to do was fill in some spot blacks because everything else is already done. And that did end up working pretty well. It does look like she's kind of disappearing into the shadows. So that's good. That pleases me. All right, so that's 3 panels down, 3 to go. How are we doing on time? We are 25 minutes in. Okay, cool. Making good time. I'm going to try not to knock my microphone over today. There you go. Get her face there. Oh, I see there's another comment. What do we have going on? Oh, thank you. Like, the comment says that they're more of a dog person than a cat person, but they like the cat drawings. So thanks. I love dogs and cats. I primarily, the only reason why I own a cat and not a dog is that I lived in such a small space for so long that a dog was just not practical. There was just no way. There was no way we could have fit a dog in here, because the area that's my studio right now we used to live in, and it's a very tiny cabin, and 2 adults, 2 children, and a cat was pretty much well past capacity anyway. Trying to add a dog would not have worked. And basically, we live right next door to my mother-in-law, and her dog is basically like everybody's dog. Like, she's still not allowed in here because she's like a giant chocolate lab. She's like got a massive frame because she's not like pure chocolate lab. There's some other who knows what mixed in there. So she's like the size of a whiskey barrel, and she's a little bit overweight, but she's also just large framed too. So she's a huge beast of a dog. She's very sweet. She's not very bright, but she's very sweet. And she wanders around between the houses and comes and hangs out on my steps, and we play with her outside and everything. But I suspect that when her days are done, that my mother-in-law will probably not get another dog, and at that point we might, now that we live in a larger space. So, because I really miss having a dog. Growing up, we always had dogs and cats. We always had dogs and cats and whatever neighborhood kids came in, and whatever else, and chickens, and my house was always just like chaos. So that's kind of what I'm used to. All right, there. Got her face. Looking good. All right. Get that shading inside her sleeve there. I think now I need to do the cat since he's in front. Gotta do Drake. Its face all filled in there. Just kind of fuzzy and unkempt texture. All right, now turn the page sideways to get these nice long strokes for the ties and the folds on Ronwin's robe. It's just a lot easier to hold the page sideways to get these correctly. There we go. It's the kind of thing that just requires a certain amount of concentration as well to get those long, even strokes without making them wobble or anything. Let me see. Had everyone. Yep. Yep. Pretty much. Exactly. The comment was describing just like having a neighborhood pets that just kind of wandered around, which helps makes everybody more connected. And yeah, that's very much how we live. We live living next door to my in-laws. It's like they're not like we live in the country, so next door their house is still like 200 feet away from ours. But we, the chickens are technically in my mother-in-law's backyard, but we all take care of them. We all take care of the dog. Our cat's a strictly an inside cat, though. He would almost certainly be eaten if he were let outside. So, but if we are like on a trip or we're going to be gone all day or whatever, then my mother-in-law also comes over and feeds the cat, and the kids basically belong to everybody too. So when everybody's home, they are much happier to hang out with Grammy all day than to be at home with mom and dad. Because, geez, mom and dad are boring. Grammy's the best. Which, all of that, it's really awesome. It's a really great way to live where it makes us all really happy to be so close and so connected with each other. But it's going to really make the next who even knows how long very difficult, because now that my mother-in-law went back to work at the hospital, she's going to have to be self-isolating whenever she's not at work. So basically we'll be able to like go on walks with her outside, keeping our distance, but nobody can go over to her house until who knows when. Till who knows how long. So really, really sucks, but a lot of things really suck right now. So we all just have to try to get through it. Oh, I hear one of the chicks going cheep, cheep, cheep. Well, that is such a sad sounding chirp. What is wrong, little chick? Oops, let me scoot up so that you can see that a little better. Scooting on down out of frame. Fill in all of this black all around the figure here. All right. Looks like that panel is done. Only got 2 left. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to come back in here and do whiteout on that particular panel because I've got panel borders going right through my word balloon, which looks very goofy. And I decided to add a tail over on this side after the fact, so that also looks goofy. I have to do a little whiteout. Fill in all this nice dark black. All right. Let's see. So now we've got to get her hair flying around her face. Let's see how we can do that. There we go. That works. Whoop, that's... What are we doing? That was a fat line. All right, I think I'm going to have to do a different part of that first. So what's in front? This hand is in front. Oh, you can see some of my head. Sorry. What is going on with the tip? Will you point already? Killing me here. Okay, let's see. So right in here, it's going to be black. So like any page on which there's like physical action going on, like the backgrounds are usually not as big of a deal on a panel like this. There's like this with just one little strip right there, but the brush inking is always like really intense because everything is drawing. It's really intense too because everything has to be overlapping just so. You got to really concentrate and make sure that you're doing everything in the most sensible order. There we go. Okay. Got that little section taken care of anyway. How are we doing on time? 47 minutes. That's all right. I might not quite finish this page today. This panel's slowing me down pretty considerably, but I'll be awful close. Now this arm is in front. All right. There's that arm. And then this shoulder is in front of this fold of cloak. There we go. All right. I still haven't done her face. Whoops. Okay, let's go ahead and do that before we get too much farther. Just realized that I had not actually done her face yet. Go ahead and get that done. Yeah. Poor Wen. Poor Wen, always having something crazy happen to her. Get that other shoulder. Arm coming in here. There we go. Here we go. What time are we at? 53 minutes. Yeah, I'm not going to get this page all the way done. That's okay. Usually try to keep this to about an hour so that I can get up and stretch. You can go about your day. Find something, some other artist or performer to watch. It's been pretty awesome, actually, the number of like free live streams of performers that I've paid to see. Like plenty of performers that I have willingly paid lots of money to watch perform live or performing live for free, like all the time right now online, which is pretty freaking awesome. And a part of me just finds it it's like a little bit funny, and I mean I really dig it. I think it's great, obviously, because I have a webcomic. I've always believed in giving away content for free, and then if people like it, then hopefully they help support you, or hopefully they buy your book or your album in the case of the musicians, or whatever else. T-shirt, what have you. Pay to go to your concerts. Pay to get a commission, stuff like that. So I just think it's really cool to see all these performing artists giving away content, because that's something that I've always really believed in, is give away stuff to people, let people enjoy your work without a monetary obligation, and then, if they like it, then hopefully they'll support you. So it seems that almost constantly right now you can find somebody online doing something cool that you can watch, which is pretty great. Creating art or performing music or performing plays or reading stories or just all sorts of cool stuff. All right. 50. Oh, we've only got like 3 minutes left. Okay, time to do the thing. Time to do the thing. While I finish up this panel, I'll do the thing. I'm Amanda Call. I'm working on Age of Night. That's what you're seeing me work on right now. It's my webcomic. Uploads a new page every week. And you can find it at ageofnight.com. That's AGEOFNIGHT. Update a new comic page every Wednesday. This one will be up in a couple of weeks. You can also support me on Patreon. That's patreon.com/ageofnight, spelled exactly the same as the webcomic. And if you support me on Patreon, then you will always get your comic pages a week ahead, plus other really cool behind-the-scenes stuff. Oh, I see there's a new comment. 1 second. Let me see what you have to say before I finish my spiel. Yeah, I like watching process videos of art too. I think it's a lot of fun. It's especially watching people like any art process. It's just so mesmerizing. You're just like, what is happening? And speaking of, if you like this video, if you like to watch me make art, then you can like this video because then it'll show up for other people that you know when they go and check out YouTube. And you can subscribe to my channel because that way, with my not terribly consistent schedule, it's really hard with all the kids home, you guys. With the kids and the husband home all the time. It's just like, excuse me, everybody, I need to go and work. No, you need to stay here. We need your attention all the time. So really subscribing is the best way to make sure that you don't miss these live streams as they're happening, because I wish I could do them on a schedule, but I can't. My life just does not facilitate that at the moment. So if you subscribe and hit the little bell thingy, then it'll tell you, hey, Amanda's going live. Go check it out. What else? I have to think about what other things I'm supposed to say. Oh, yeah. You can follow me on Instagram at Amanda Call Art. That's just my name with the word art after it, all is one word. And you can follow me on Twitter at Age of Night. And I think that's it. All the cons for the next couple of months are canceled. So I don't have any convention appearances coming up until maybe late May. Maybe the one in late May won't get canceled. We'll see. They haven't said one way or the other. I think it's a little early to call that one. So we'll find out what happens there. I'm not going to make any promises either way. All right, so that's just about an hour, and I didn't quite get this one done. I only have a little bit of this panel left to do and this final panel, so I am really close. We've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, and most of a 5th panel finished inking today, so that was pretty great. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with me and chatting, and I will see you all next time.